Rand Water says its Eikenhof pump station is now at 83% capacity, signaling progress in its ongoing 38-day maintenance. The throttling of the Eikenhof pump station has affected millions of people in Johannesburg who have experienced low pressure or no water at all in their taps. Despite the increased capacity, some residents claim water is still not being pumped at the promised rate. Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Makhoali reports.
It's another dry day at the taps as Rand Water's infrastructure maintenance has caused a significant reduction in flow at the Eikenhof pump station. This vital artery supplying Soweto, Randburg, Ridderport, Commando, Lanseria and parts of central Johannesburg is struggling to meet the city's demand for water. Elsewhere in Johannesburg, residents say communication around the planned maintenance has been as dry as their taps.
And what they told us is that they're only going to shed like 50% of the water. However, now they're coming up with stories that, hey, it's a high lying level and whatsoever, hence we don't have water. So, hey, it's just a frustration on our side.
Despite Johannesburg Water's contingency plan to mitigate the impact of planned maintenance, people in many parts of the city claim they have not seen water tanks.
I've never seen any JoJo tanks from the government or anything, or even the trucks coming to supply us with water. None of them has ever come. Whenever they come, they just pass us through. They don't even bother to ask us if we have enough water, who's helping us, or any of that. Yeah.
Ha se go tlisipe go tswa mo counciloreng ya rona, se go tlisipe a bua. A gona thuso re tlileng ra ikry go bua nnete ka metsi. And then body tracker di jojo tseo tsa teng tseo le teng ha re itse gore why ba sa tle ba re tlisetse metsi. Ha re itse mix. A re na tswelopele ya metsi.
And in areas where there is a supply, it's everyone for themselves. Some residents rush to the tankers with many containers, depleting the water faster than it can be replenished for those next in line.
The containers are moving at too much. Even motor I1 tlamile a gakgele bucket A1 hore batho ba kire metsi kaofela mo. So batho ba ba nke di bucket tse ngata ene le jojo e ba e beileng mo enyane for batho ba mo. Tlamile anenela batho ba mo enyane. Batho ba Melvin ba bangata ho feta. And so even in the bana ba teng mo hae ba hloka metsi full time, every time ba hloka metsi a ho nwa. Ebile ba hloka le metsi a ho hlapa, even in the washing. They
gave us the tank for like 2,500 liters, but then again it runs out like within 3 hours or so. So it's just a frustration on our side. So the whole of Melville, Auckland Park, there's no water.
Those who can afford it are emptying shelves and purchasing water from supermarkets.
It's such a basic need, so for us to have to now pay for something like this, and even when we step outside and see like the water tanks, it's pumped, there's no order, there's no queues. So yeah, it's really been a mess, such an inconvenience, because you know, water is a part of our daily lives. You know, we could live without the electricity, but water is like it's basic sanitation. So having to deal with that has been, it's been a interesting times. Like if it's not water, it's electricity. If it's not electricity, it's water. So the convenience of, you know, having to pay for the water, because you find that you're standing there for 3-4 hours and there's no order, there's no queue, everybody's frustrated, people haven't showered and they're grumpy, so now there's a bit of like conflict and the tensions are high, so you just don't want to have to deal with that. So I think just having to buy the water is an alternative, but we incur the cost, take it to the chest and do what we need to do.
Earlier this week, the councillor for Ward 58 cautioned that the biggest challenge would be managing resources effectively.
What's going to be the challenge going forward is to have those tanks continuously filled regularly. Previously it was done weekly. I think 3 times a week we have tankers coming and filling these JoJo tanks, but we know this is massive across the city, so tankers are going to be used all over. At our meeting last week with councillors and Joburg and Rand Water, councillors were already demanding more resources. So ideally my ward would want like 4 tankers, but if we get 2, we'll have to do the best.
Despite residents struggling with water shortages as a result of existing infrastructure issues, Rand Water has announced that its maintenance project is running on schedule. Rand Water is expected to move on to its next phase of its extensive maintenance program, which will see areas serviced by the Palmeet and Mapleton systems affected from Monday. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Veronica Makhoali in Johannesburg.